Hello, welcome to Studio Nicole. I am Nicole, and I'm so glad that you're here. I have been I have been cleaning up my studio and packing for this retreat for weeks, and I just want to sit down today and make some art. So, I have my art journal. This is the current one that I'm in the middle of, and instead of flipping to one of these blank pages, I've kind of settled on this page, which is the back of this weaving page. This is an example of one of my upcoming workshop techniques that I'm going to be offering in July. I think it's either July or August, paper weaving. But right now, I'm going to work on the back of the page because when you cut the page up and weave, obviously you still have a second, you kind of have a second woven page to work with. But I don't want to work with this color palette. So I think I'm going to just gesso over this and start with just the texture on the page, but without these, the color balance, color differences. I have some collage materials here that I received from Froyle Arts. She is a mixed media artist. Sorry, I was thinking the channel is a Patreon channel. And as part of the Patreon membership, uh, she sends like a little pack of collage pieces. And so I thought I would go through this because there's some gorgeous textured paper here. And I might use some of this in on my page. Because I'm just feeling like I really want some texture. I want something um with like fabric and fiber and arts and like something very tactile. I'm just really feeling that. So I'm trying to pull out some things in sort of a color palette, maybe. I love this. I love that. Okay. So it looks like I've pulled out mostly gold and brown. And maybe this is just the color palette that I'm kind of feeling. So I'm gonna just keep that off to the side. I'm gonna spend a little bit of time gessoing this page. And that way I can keep all of this nice texture and get rid of those colors because that green is not really what I want on my page. So my desk is still pretty messy. I am desperately trying to get a handle on my studio. I have so much stuff kind of crammed into this little space. And the retreat coming up, Pages Unbound in July, has just given me the perfect excuse to purchase all kinds of other all kinds of other stuff as well. Um my my Amazon bill when it comes in is going to be it's going to be a little bit ridiculous. Um but that's okay. That is okay. I am happy to do it. I'm really excited about this retreat. I'm already talking to the venue to find out when they're available to do another one. It looks like November is going to be the best time for me, and I'm trying to decide which weekend in November. It's either going to be like the 7th and 8th or the 14th and 15th. I don't know if those are the exact dates, but it's those weekends approximately. I think I'm going to put a poll up maybe on Facebook or on my website where people can, if you're interested in a fall retreat, you can vote. There is some masking tape on this page, and I'm just going to gesso over it and let it be additional texture on the page. Not at all worried about that. I am thinking I want warm tones, like reds and blacks and golds. That is what I'm feeling like today. I'm using this big brush and it's not covering as well as I would like. I don't know. It seemed to work better on the other page. Maybe I just don't have enough gesso on my brush. I will say the pages in this journal curl. Like I'm just putting gesso on them and this page is already like bending and kind of curling under just with the gesso. So I'm not sure that this is really meant to be a mixed media journal. To be honest, I actually bought this years ago at a Tuesday morning. And I really do like it. It's just a cool journal. Like I love I can't touch it. It's still wet. Gosh, who would have thought? Um, but I love the outside of it. Uh, so I make it work. It's fine. It's not warping too badly. I just happened to notice as I was adding this. So I'm going to pause the camera and dry this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. My pages are dry, mostly. I am still getting a lot of color come through. I can definitely see the green. I'm not so worried about this like pinky red because those tones are already going to be in the collage that I think I'm going to make. But the green I don't love. So I was thinking maybe what I could do would be to just go through with some side. Let me see what I can find. I've been reorganizing everything to make it, just a little bit more um better organized. What else can you say to just make it better organized? And um I'm definitely finding that I have to organize things even differently than I think because you think that something is going to work and then when you go to use it it doesn't. Like it doesn't work for the way that you actually like your actual workflow. So I'm sure that we've all had that experience before. This is not bad. This is not terrible. I'm still getting green notes coming through, but the brown is warming the green up. So it feels more just like a warmer shade of the green. And I really, really like this is kind of what I was hoping would happen is I really like how the ink is picking up on the woven texture and highlighting that. Because when I whitewashed everything, I definitely lost some of the definition of the texture, and I'm glad that I'm getting it back. Um, by kind of highlighting the edges a little bit. I don't know if I want to do the entire page like this. I kind of do, but also I kind of don't. I want there to be some variation. I'll just try a different shade of brown and see if I like that any better. Yeah, I'm just going to do a light version of it kind of all over. I love using these things. These are one of my absolute favorite discoveries is these really tightly packed makeup brushes. They work so well with the inks. They are like the world's best invention I'm sure they weren't originally intended to be an art supply, but I cannot live without them at this point. So I'm very, very excited. It's looking very spotty. Uh like it's I don't know. And obviously I need some on this page too. I wonder if I need more texture over here. I haven't really decided on a composition yet, so I don't know. I don't know. I can't quite decide. I just thought maybe if I sit down and start working, maybe I'll figure it out as I go. That's usually how it works. I rarely sit down with a clear idea of what I want to accomplish. So I'm just hoping that the process will get me there. I tend to just pick something to be inspired by. I think the color palette, this warm brown color palette that I'm working with right now, is coming from there was a Facebook reel maybe or an Instagram reel that I saw that I'm dying to try. It's like this peeled paint technique with like white glue, and I really do want to try it. And so I'm trying to um I don't know. Maybe I want to try it on this page. I know that's where the colors are coming from, like this cream and brown color palette that I'm working with. The reds and the golds, I was inspired by a piece of scrap that I was cutting up for something else. Um, and now I can't find the rest of it. I saved part of it and I can't find it too. I don't know where I put it. Um, so that is a happy discovery for future me. At some point, I will find it and be very excited. So, in the meantime, I don't have it, but I do have this tissue paper um, that I thought is just a gorgeous red, and maybe I will use this. Maybe I will use this somehow on my page. Do I want to go like all the way across with it? Oh, maybe I want. Maybe I want it like this. What do we think? What are we thinking about that? I think I like it. This is the problem with cleaning up, is that now none of the stuff that I need is available. I have to find the right medium. What is this matte gel? This one will work. It is almost empty though. Look at that. There is something gorgeous about reaching the end of a jar of this stuff. I feel like it's lasted me 3 years, probably. Um, Maybe not quite that long. Ooh, I think my paint water needs to be changed though. I just stuck my paintbrush in here and it was very muddy. So maybe if I'm gonna do any painting today, I might need fresh paint water. Now I did lay distress oxides down. That's what was underneath here. So they are water reactive. So I'm definitely getting some like smearing of the inks. And that is okay. Like it does not bother me even a little bit. I'm totally fine with that. It's just another layer in the process. And actually, I'm really not even able to see behind this dark paper. I'm not even seeing the oxide, so no problem. This is very thick. I think it was thick to start with, but because it's the very end, it's like extra very thick. So I'm just watering it down a little bit so that it goes on a little better. It's not um it's not very straight, I realize at the top, but oh well. Again, not something that I am too concerned with. And I'm covering up all my masking tape texture over here too, but sometimes that's how it goes. One of the first things, not one of the first things, one of the things that I really struggled with when I first started doing this art journaling, I was watching these videos all the time of people who were making this art, and I remember I would watch the videos and I would be like, but why are you covering that up? Like you just spent all this time building that background and now you're covering it up and now you can't see it. And I still feel that way a little bit. Like there's still a part of me that is like, wait, that was such a cool part of the composition and now it's not even visible. But you know, it all goes in. It all goes into the art and it all comes out at the end somehow, even if it's, well, there's that. Um, even if it's just texturally, or even if it's just something that is in the background that maybe the casual onlooker might not even know is there. I always feel like I know it's there, and yeah, and so that makes me happy. All right, so this red tissue paper with gold highlighting has been laid down, and it's a lot. It's very bold on the page, and now, of course, I can't get that. I was trying to get that little piece laid down, and then it just wrinkled, and oh well. Oh well, oh well. Okay, now it's very bold and very stark, so now I'm going to go back in with gesso again, maybe soften up some of these edges a little bit so that it's not so stark. I'm not sure if this is going to work, actually. It might not. It might be too... I love that I'm getting texture. Can you see how the texture from below is coming out when I go like with a dry brush across it? It's like picking up the texture that was underneath. So I kind of love that. Um, that was a lot. It's a lot of gesso on the page there. I'm probably going to go back in and do another layer of the brown, the oxide, again to just continue to blend into the page. This side doesn't have that same texture, but it's okay. Got to get my hands in there a little bit. Oh, I'm tearing the tissue paper underneath, which I kind of like that too. Oh, maybe not that much tearing, but it definitely is kind of grunging it up a little bit. I'm going to leave that right there because it doesn't want to come up. So that's just part of the page now. All right, here's what I've got. Very messy looking, totally okay. Happy with... Oh, that was a weird noise from my kitchen, guys. And not my kitchen guys. I was saying like you guys. That was a weird noise from my kitchen. I think it might have been the ice machine. I just bought like one of those little countertop ice makers, and I think it just like spit out some ice. I was like, what was that noise? All right. I'm gonna pause this and dry again. So I have another layer of gesso that I need to manage. Right. Um, I am back with my page dry, and I'm gonna add a little of this coloring back in so that the gesso isn't so stark white. Again, I want like a warmer look. I am loving this texture. Do we see how... I love it. I love it. It makes me just want to like get in there and just really... It's like depth. I love it. I love it. Okay. All right. So I grabbed, while I was paused, I went and grabbed a box of fabric, like fabric scraps that were in the other room. I knew I was gonna have to pause the camera to go get anyway, uh, so I did that. And here's what I've got. I've got this little box of goodies. And there are so many cool options. Like this just came from um the retreat in Pennsylvania. I bought this fabric at the Goodwill bin store and then I cut it up. Look at that. I really love that one. So that's a little, I mean, it's very on the nose in terms of color, and I might not want um like it's very homogeneous. It's like it's all the same color. So maybe what I need is some contrast like behind it. Oh, I love that. I'm loving this. Okay. Um again, this is not really what I was expecting. I love this too. This is so dark and rich. This is like a sample something. I don't even know what it is. Something not, it says not suitable for upholstery as is, must be backed with a knit backing. Um, but like I love collaging where the pieces all kind of peek out from behind one another. I don't know if I want, this is kind of heavier. This is a little bit heavier. I don't know that I want this across the break, just because it's going to make the page like it's not going to lay down cleanly and it's going to buckle every time I try to close the page. So I might try to keep this on this page. Um, I really do. I don't know. I don't know how I want to do this. What are we thinking, guys? Like this and then like this. The possibilities, they are endless. This is making me so happy right now. Definitely not what I had in mind. I was thinking of like a deeper red, like an orangey red, and a lot more of this gold. Um, is kind of what I was thinking, but I don't know. I think I just like where this is going. Oh, I don't want to knock stuff over. Spill something if I'm not careful. Um, ooh. How are we liking this composition so far? I like this. I feel like I want this to be a little bit more like tattered. So I'm gonna just tear some of tear some of the edges. Um, like tear a few more of these threads loose. I'm trying to just use my fingernails to sort of shred the edges to give it like a more tattered look. Um, seems like it's working pretty well. Let's see what I can do along the bottom here. Okay. And now there are some threads. This is kind of hanging out. All right, I am loving this. I do feel like maybe I need a little, I need some more contrast here somehow. I don't know if I want more fabric. Maybe I want to go with more paper. I need something. Wasn't there a little stripe of this? I wonder if I could just do a little stripe of this peeking out of the edge. How's that? That looks good, doesn't it? Uh, and then maybe right here, like a focal point, like a button or something right here. But I kind of like this. What do we think? Are we enjoying this? I like the repetitive dots. They, to me, speak to the repetitiveness of this and this. I'm getting it's circles versus squares, but it feels cohesive. The size is about the same, right? These circles are about the same size as these squares, and they are in a very similar pattern, like staggered, so they feel very regular. I like the big chunk of dark color here. I like the contrast between the lights and the darks. I like this little strip of fabric or paper behind here, just barely peeking out and highlighting this torn edge a little bit. I've got just a little bit of the gold peeking out here. I might put some more gold over here to sort of balance that out because I love this gold and I really do think that it's kind of, I'm always, like I love this paper and I don't want to waste all of it buried behind here. So I might just sketch out sort of where the paper is going to show and I'm going to cut the rest of it out. I have 72 pairs of scissors approximately, and none of them are within reach. You guys, the pile of stuff that's on my desk outside of camera, I just keep bumping the mouse on my laptop, and then all kinds of weird stuff is happening on my laptop screen. Um, okay, so I'm gonna cut this piece out and save it because there's no point burying it behind this collage element. This part is gonna go down right over here. This little strip is gonna go over here. I do want kind of the irregular edge to show. This is gonna go right there. This is all gonna go over a little more. I want this peeking out the bottom. I might save a little bit of this fabric too by doing kind of the same thing, and cutting out the part that is not going to show. And for one reason, it will save some bulk. This page is already going to be a very heavy, bulky page. But also I really like this fabric. I don't want to use it all up. So, okay, so I'm going to save that bit and I'm going to lay this bit down here. Maybe I cut too much. I don't think it'll matter. I think it'll be fine, right? Just like that. Okay. Do I want to then do the same thing with this and just cut it right here and just have that part out? Maybe I will do that as well. Okay. This is the art of being frugal with our supplies. It's not that I don't want to use it. It's not too pretty to use. Like sometimes we have things that we like hoard in our stash that we don't want to use, but and maybe this is also part of that impulse that I said earlier where we build this beautiful background and then we cover it up. And I still kind of chafe a little bit at that today. But I do think that there is something about managing some of our favorite supplies. Like these are all now usable in a future project, and it's not going to take away from this project if I cut them out. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. You can agree or disagree as you see fit. Let me know in the comments if you disagree or if you do agree, if you feel the same way about kind of hoarding some of your favorite supplies and like using them frugally and carefully. But so far right now, this is exactly what I want to do. I really, really love this. So I'm probably going to speed you up and I'm going to just glue all this down. Um, I'm not sure what glue to use for this fabric. This I think will work back here and for the paper for sure. It might work on this, but I might need something heavier for this front piece. I am going to take a picture of this as it is, just so I can make sure that as I'm moving things around, that I can get back to the same composition. Because sometimes it's hard to remember exactly where you had something. And, or maybe you want to change something, but you want to at least like compare it to what you, I don't know what that was. My phone felt the need to alert me about something. Yeah, so sometimes you want to just compare what you have going on. I can say too that when you look at it in the camera lens, it looks a little bit different. So what I am seeing, why are you okay? What I'm seeing now is that this fades into this. And it absolutely does, but it took the camera lens to help me see that. I don't know why. So maybe I need to just, oh my gosh, my phone is just making all kinds of noise. So perhaps I need one more layer of something right here. Mm, I don't know. It feels like it's too much. This is too, there's too much. Maybe I need something darker. Maybe, oh, like a black. Um, or maybe that's where I can put a little bit of gold that I was going to do. Because this gold will. Just going to tear a shred of it off. Hey, this is why we take pictures. What about something like this? Or over the. Yeah, that I don't like that. I don't like that. Lesson learned. But maybe like under the edge. It's hard because there's all these little threads happening here, and trying to place something so precisely is a little bit challenging. I don't want it too much under here because this fabric is sheer, and if I put something light under, it's definitely going to show through. But I do want a little bit of some kind of something right there, and I don't quite know what yet. Oh, let's see what black will do to the composition if we add just a little bit of black. Does that make it too dark? Does that like darken it up too much? Hmm. All right, folks. How about brown? What about this? And this is more fabric, but I'm gonna just cut a little strip of this off and see if there's enough contrast here that it'll break it up without being too much contrast, without being too dark. Sometimes it really is, uh, that's, I still don't know if I love this, but this is the best so far. I think that's, hmm. All right, I don't know. I don't think I want to do that either. I'm going to glue down what I have. I'm not going to glue this edge down. I'm going to just tack it in place on this side so this edge is still very like movable, and then I'll figure it out later. But for now, I'm just going to speed you guys up so you don't have to watch me glue all of this. And I will check back in with you in a few minutes. I am back and um I've glued I've glued things down where I think I want them. I did have to pull out a wet wipe because the tacky glue was all over my hands. And I've lost the lid to this tacky glue. So I need to put some tape on the tip of it. I'm just gonna use some masking tape if I can find the end of it. This is what you signed on to do today, wasn't it? To watch me find the end of the tape. All right. Okay, that's my temporary glue lid. It'll work. It worked last time. Okay, I love this. I love how it's coming together. It is kind of chunky. I do have a little uh trouble closing it, but it's gonna be fine. It'll be fine. It just is gonna have to really dry because there's a this glue is very, very sticky. I do want something right here. I was trying to maybe use this somehow to get a little bit of the gold in here, but I didn't like the white. Even though this is deli paper, I don't know how it's going to show up on this dark red fabric. So I thought maybe I could kind of get a similar feeling with this. Uh, what are we thinking there? That kind of breaks it up a little bit, doesn't it? It's pretty subtle. I think that subtle is good, particularly in this case. Subtle is what I need. So I kind of want to do like an L shape um, to mimic the pattern that's happening already. It's not a whole lot, but let's see if this will work. The idea is that I want to layer this under this existing fabric so that it just creates a little bit of um, contrast. There we go. How's that? Look at that. I love it. The only thing I wish is that I want it to kind of go out here a little bit more. So I think I'm going to patch two pieces together and just have it kind of spread out across the page, maybe a little bit more. Do I want the tiniest little bit of it over on the other side too? Perhaps I do. All right. Now, how on earth do I glue this down? I don't know if this is going to work, or if I'm going to have to use the tacky glue again, because there is not much for this to stick to. And I'm just not sure how this is going to go, but we'll try it. We're going to try it, folks. Obviously the glue will dry clear and you won't be able to see it. I'm trying to put pretty heavy, like a heavy application of glue so that it really sticks to the fibers because there just isn't that much to this it's fabric. There's just not that much for it to like hang on to because it's very airy fabric. Okay, so we'll stick that edge down. Sorry, I told you I was going to fast forward through the gluing part, and now here I am gluing again. In real time this time. But that's okay. It's okay. It'll be fine. It's going to be all right. I'm not going to do too much gluing. I'm just going to stick this. Trying to overlap this a little bit so it kind of looks like it's all one piece. Ooh, this is going to be rough getting this to stick. I don't know. Every day is an adventure, folks. We'll see how it turns out. That's a lot of glue. I like that this piece is even a little bit like staggered. Um, so we've got, it kind of mimics this shape here over here. It's kind of hard to see. It's pretty subtle. And then this, where do I want this? Do I want it at this top edge or do I want it at this top edge? There's already a lot going on over here, but I was thinking right here is kind of where I wanted to put like a little focal image or a pop of color, a button. We have these are different buttons in different colors. Do I want, I mean, don't we love that? What about this really dark one? I don't know. I think that's actually too dark. I don't love it. I like the lighter one better. Do I want something smaller? Sometimes you have to audition a few different things before you decide what you like. No, I like the big one. That's the first one I pulled out. That's what I like. I'm going to go with it. Do I have anything else in here? I saw these letters and they are a similar color. I don't know what the letters would be for. They're just random letters. And they might work also, like in a different composition, but not today. Today, I'm just going to do the button. Do I want it on this side though? I do like that it balances, but this just feels like an empty spot on the page for me, and I think I just want this here. So do I want this like behind the button? I don't like that. I definitely like the gold over here on this side better, and I like the button here. And I'm just gonna do some thread and let the threads like kind of come out of the button. I'm gonna sew it on. Just trying to find some of the other threads that I had like left over, and I'm gonna like leave the threads kind of loose. You see, obviously that's not the threads, but like that's the look I'm gonna go for, is that like really like loose threaded look. And I think that it is gonna pull like these kinds of threads. It's gonna, have a very similar feel to that. Okay, I'll probably go off camera for the threading part because it's gonna take some time. And I'm gonna probably have to move things around on my desk to give myself room, and it's gonna be hard to do that on camera, so I will be back in a minute. Okay, I am back and I kind of cheated a little bit with my button, and I used some glue. I did put a few threads. I used this gold thread because I thought that would be really just like a nice callback to the rest of the gold on the page. But this is such a tiny little fine thread that you can kind of barely see it. And I also realized that the other page was not blank. And so by stitching through the page, I was kind of tearing up I mean, you can really not see it, so it's not like the biggest deal, but I just ended up making a few stitches instead of doing like a really thick, heavy, like multiple stitches like you would do for a button. So I just did a few stitches. I left some really long edges hanging off. I love this, but I think it's missing something, and I wonder if you guys can tell me what you think it's missing before I tell you what I think it's missing. So, um, I'll just give you a minute with it. Tell me what you would do to it from here. So, I will tell you. what I'm going to do with it, and you'll see me do it. It's not a surprise. I love this. I love these colors. I've got some good neutrals and this is one of my favorite colors, this like deep, deep red. And I've got some lighter versions of the color and some midtones and some darks. So I have good balance and good color contrast on the page, but I need a contrasting color. I need like a little pop of something. And the opposite on the color wheel of this like red is like a deep turquoise. And so while I was off camera, I kind of went scrounging through my scrap boxes and I found just a couple of things sort of in the color range that I'm looking for. And I just want to see like where might I include a little pop of color? Like, I definitely thought I would maybe put something behind the button, like maybe just a little scrap um, of paper sort of behind the button. I definitely think that that is a good place. And I'm sort of layering it on both sides since I've already done the stitching. Uh, I don't know if I like how square that looks though. So maybe that's not like the perfect solution. But I do think that I just think it needs a little bit of blue. Like it just needs something. What has happened on my laptop again? Okay. All right, let me grab like a longer piece that I can maybe taper the ends a little bit so that it doesn't feel square. I like a long skinny strip sometimes. I like to alternate patterns. I have rectangles and squares, and now I have a circle on the page, and now I maybe want like a longer strip. Um, so I like that it kind of looks like wings. I don't love that it looks like wings. Maybe if I do it it really just needs to be right in the center. So maybe what I need to do is take a little boop out of the center so that I can shoot it up there like that. Oh, look at that. And then it needs to not be straight. How about that? How's just that little bit of blue? I'm not sure where else I might even want a little blue. Maybe down here in this corner underneath this edge. Like what if we had just a little blue peeking out there? And then because I like things to be in threes, we like odd numbers. For some reason, they tend to be more aesthetic and draw the eye. Then I need a little hint of blue over here, which actually I think I could maybe accomplish with just some paint splatter. I was thinking maybe even some ink over this area of the page, just like a brush of like turquoisey ink. But maybe I could even do some paint splatter in turquoise. What do we think? How are we liking this? Do we like the color contrast? Do we think that it's making the whole page pop just a little bit? It maybe is not it doesn't read quite as vivid on camera, but I like it. I think it's working. Let me see. I gotta find a glue that is gonna work for this. I don't want to blob all that tacky glue on here, so I'm just gonna use my little tiny applicator. Tucking this way under as much as I can so that it's really just a hint of this blue. And then I'm gonna glue down the fabric over top of that. So again, it's just a little hint of it popping out. And this is already behind there, and there was already glue underneath, so I'm not gonna take the whole thing out and glue it. I'm just gonna glue these edges down a little bit, um, so they'll kind of stay in place. And I think I want to try a little bit of splatter, which means I need to unearth my that are over on this side of my desk, piled behind everything else that I own. I've been just dumping everything over here on the left side as I work because it's an empty space. Maybe cobalt turquoise. Blue lagoon, I think, is going to be too light. Maybe regular turquoise. It's dark enough that it won't. I don't want it to be distracting. This is a golden liquid acrylic, or fluid acrylic, so it's already pretty fluid. So I shouldn't need to water it down a whole lot. I'm just going to drizzle a little bit onto a wet paintbrush, not doing a whole lot, and then I'm going to just tap it. And I don't want only in that area. I do want some of the splatters to kind of spread a little bit. Maybe a couple splatters over here in this corner. What are we thinking? Can we even see that? Can you guys? Ooh, it's dripping on me. Can you guys see that on camera? Here we go. We've got just the littlest bit of splatter here, and then we have some splatter here, and kind of migrating up on this part of the peach. I think maybe it needs to be just a little heavier right here. Okay. All right, that's it, folks. That I'm gonna call it. I think I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I don't know that there's anything else I would want to do. I don't have any words on the page, so that is a little bit unusual for me because I do tend to include some language, like, something. No, I don't know if I like these over here. They kind of smeared out because of the glue that was here. Kind of trying to soften them a little bit. I don't know if I like that. And I'm just going to tack down the edge of this fabric so that it doesn't curl up too much. All right. I don't mind this one so much, and I don't mind this stuff being loose. All right. Find the lid to my glue. Here we are. I think we're good. I think this is it. All right, folks, tell me in the comments if this is what you would have done or if you would have done something different. I love to see how other people would take sort of a similar materials, but a different approach. What do you think? I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for being here, folks. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.